Hi there. In this presentation, I'll be talking about the Northern Regional Healthcare, and I'll be going through the datas and graphs and offering my recommendation based off the data collected and give you a brief breakdown of what the company is. So the agenda for this presentation will include a introduction to the case, followed by the recommendations. Then after that comes the Appendix 1, a table of the findings I derived from Appendix 1. And then after that, we will showcase the graphs of Appendix 2. Introduction. Northern Regional Healthcare was founded to support the needs of various clinics and hospitals in Saskatchewan. It relies heavily on donations made by certain groups, entities, and organizations. The amounts generated from the campaigns they used to run roughly amounted to $2.5 billion. However, in recent years, that amount, or the amount of funds in general from donations, dropped significantly. Northern Regional Healthcare has data on its donors collected for the last 20 years. These data include things like the gender of the donors, the types of donors, the donor types, the category of donors, and a number of things of that sort. Also, it includes things like the gift amount, the median age. So specific data like that was included, and we will be using this data that's been collected over the span of 20 years to derive recommendations to improve the situation and get the amount of funds back up to its previous amount and even more. Recommendations. So I've listed a number of recommendations, which include focusing more on individual donors as they are more flexible in the amounts they donate. There has been a decrease in the number of individual donors between the years of 2017 and 2018. And in order to get the figures of donations and funds gathered, this issue has to be addressed, and the number of individual donors has to increase due to the fact that individual donors, the amounts they spent is unlimited, whereas corporations may donate a set amount for the cause due to tax reductions and other expenses. So the amount they donate is limited. Whereas individual donors, there's no limits, and they are most likely to be convinced with the cause than corporations who do it for the purpose of tax reductions and other expenses. Focus on increasing donations through golf and radio then, from the category campaign description, as these are impactful. And for example, in golf, this leads to the ability to generate more individuals who are willing to donate for the cause through a game of golf. And radio then is a method used that can target a broad audience and convince a great number of the mass public to help the cause and support it. Increasing the percentage of male donors in comparison to female donors for the sole purpose of increasing the overall number of individuals donating amounts in funds. And lastly, decrease in donors from companies should be addressed, as there has been a decrease, a noticeable one, between the years of 2017 and 2018. And this needs to be addressed due to the benefits and perks that having the support of companies can have through establishing centers and venues to help further support the cause and at the process increase the funds. So here we'll be discussing the Appendix 1 data table. So on the left side are the categories of the appendix, and on the right side are the values of each. So in terms of donor ID, the donor ID is 6011. The count of donor IDs 5,458. Total gift amounts are around 4,694,745.96. The gift amount in 2017 amounts to 2,331,980. Gift amount in 2018 amounts to 2,362,765.96. Gender count of ID and gift amounts. There are 3,066 females, 2,216 males, and the gift amount for females amounts to 952,623.88. On the other hand, the male gift amount amounts to 4,355,844.44. The median age is around 50 years old. Appendix 2, pie chart. So this is the data derived for 2017. It showcases that the largest proportion of the campaign description is devoted to Radio Then, which generated a fund of $2.86 million, which makes up 60.82%. Secondly comes Tomorrow's Leaders with 0.74 million, with a percentage of 15.87. Thirdly comes the Tribute Giving, which amounts to 0.43 million, 9.15%. Fourth comes the Fala Gala, which is around 0.4 million and a percentage of 8.49%. And then comes the Golf, which amounts to 0.16 million and makes a percentage of 3.37%. Lastly comes the Holiday Appeal, which makes the smallest percentage. Appendix 2, pie chart for the year 2018. In this case, for 2018, we notice a decline in Radio Then from 2.86 million to 1.51 million. And Tribute amounts to 0.33 million. Fala Gala amounts to 0.25 million. And Golf amounts to 0.12 million, which is an increase from the previous year. And Holiday and Tomorrow's Leader, it comes next, followed by Holiday Appeal, which amounts to 0.03 million, remaining as the smallest percentage of the campaign description campaigns. In this slide, we'll be discussing the donor type by company, foundation, individual, organization, and unknown, and relating it to the various campaign descriptions. So the first one is Radio Then, and for this particular campaign, the highest percentage of donations comes from companies, followed by individuals. And after that comes the foundations with an amount of 0.17 million. After that comes the organization with 0.15 million. And then the smallest percentage or proportion of this comes from unknown sources. Secondly, Tomorrow's Leaders Capital Campaign. It has 2 donors, and these include the companies with $0.67 million and the individual. The third campaign description is Tribute Giving, and the funds through this come from individuals with an amount of 0.42 million. Fala Gala, on the other hand, has its largest proportion comes from foundations with an amount of 0.24 million, followed by company, and then after that comes the organizations. Golf, in this particular campaign description, the company makes a larger proportion, followed by individuals. Holiday Appeal is a split between individuals and organizations. And this concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening.